Hey everybody, it's Kevin here from Happy Beard Games, and I just want to say thanks, because you guys have brought me to a new subscriber count that I didn't think was possible. 666. Yes, the number of the beast. A very satanic, dark, spooky, scary number, with horrific meanings and, some weird math meanings? I don't know, symbolism? Occult? Strange stuff. Mathemagic. It's evil. 666. Watch out, kids. The number of the beast. That's my current subscriber count on YouTube, and I want to thank you guys, each and every one of you 666 subscribers, for subscribing to my channel. And what better way to give you guys a big thank you than by doing a mini game review of a classic arcade gem of a game that I've been playing a lot recently, and that game is included on the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox Midway Arcade Treasures Collection, number 1. There's 3 of these, so this is number 1. And that game is called Satan's Hollow. Ooh, watch out, kids! It's Satan's Hollow. That's the one arcade game that, at least until Mortal Kombat came out, your parents might have warned you to stay away from. You might have even been scared to touch it yourself. It's a really fun game. It's a shoot 'em up, but it has some unique elements such as bridge building, fighting lots of demons, fighting Satan, castles, darkness, hellish imagery. It uses a arcade joystick, but it's not your normal arcade joystick, it's more of a flight joystick, which is actually taken directly from the Tron arcade cabinet, but it's red this time. So let's jump into that mini review of the classic game Satan's Hollow for my 666 subscriber special. Thank you guys. Released in 1982, Satan's Hollow is a classic shooter video game for the arcades. It was later re-released in the compilation that I'll be playing today, called Midway Arcade Treasures for the Nintendo GameCube, also on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation 2, which included over 20 classic arcade games from Midway. According to the enclosed instruction booklet, the objective of Satan's Hollow is to defeat the menacing gargoyles who swarm down in formation and attack, battle the egg droppers who release flaming eggs of fire, and bombers who seek to destroy unfinished bridges. Avoid the deadly flaming breath of Satan's head, whose grows larger each passing second. Destroy the swarming gargoyles and win bridge pieces one by one. Build the bridge and cross into the valley to battle Satan himself. Use the protective shield to defend and destroy all enemies. Complete the final conflict and add barrels to your ship for additional firepower. Build the Bridge of Fire and battle Satan, who hurls deadly accurate pitchforks. Win devilishly high scores by destroying Satan, then move on for more difficult challenges with even more higher point values. And that description in the instruction booklet really does cover the gameplay pretty well, but there's a little bit more to it and some strategy involved, as well as patterns and timing. In the game Satan's Hollow, you're on a single-screen, non-moving background stage, where wave after wave of enemies will appear that you shoot at. Once you shoot and destroy one enemy, a piece of the bridge will appear on the far left side of the screen. You move over to that side of the screen, drag that bridge over to the right, and build a bridge over the lava. You only have to destroy one enemy to unlock one piece of the bridge, then carry that piece of the bridge over once again and again, until the bridge is completed. Once that bridge is completed, you can cross the bridge onto the other side and battle Satan. Satan, like the other enemies in the game, only takes one hit to destroy. Sometimes he can be trickier than other times. His pattern is pretty simple, but every time you go to face him later on, he will get stronger and have more fireballs for his attacks. Upon defeating Satan, you will get points racked up for each of the flags or levels that you have completed. So each level that you've completed will give you more and more points each time you defeat Satan. Those points will get added up to your high score total. There's a high score leaderboard included with this game, and you can save that data to a GameCube memory card so you can challenge your friends and yourself to beat your own high scores. Back to the gameplay. A lot of the game takes place on the main screen where you're fighting enemies and building the bridge using the bridge pieces. Besides bridge building and shooting enemies, you can also do a couple other things. Press the B button for a shield. The shield has a limited amount of time, 15 short seconds, but it will restock after you stop using it. The shield allows you to deflect any incoming projectiles or enemies. It also allows you to kill an enemy by holding down the shield button, using the shield, and then ramming into that enemy, and it counts as a kill and you'll get a bridge piece. Use the shield sparingly and wisely. One other thing you can do is unlock a second barrel for your gun. That way you can shoot 2 guns at the same time, just like in Galaga. Another thing similar to Galaga is sometimes the enemies will come down and steal one of your ships, but not from your actual play area. They actually steal it from your extra lives count, which is really weird. It's almost as if it's not part of the HUD and they're actually sitting down below where you're playing. There's a few different enemies. Most of them are these dragon type enemies that kind of remind me of those monsters on Lord of the Rings. And they fly around in patterns on the top of the screen. Sometimes there's more of them, sometimes there's less of them, and they drop missiles at you. Upon defeating all the enemies on the main screen without building the bridge, it will reset to another wave. There's a couple other enemies as well. There's a green gargoyle type enemy that floats around with the dragon-like enemies. In between the waves and phases of the gameplay, there's also a giant floating head with a pitchfork that shoots out columns of fire. These columns of fire stay on the ground for a long amount of time, so you have to anticipate where they're going to move to next, and use that in your advantage to dodge them left or right. Then the gameplay progresses as follows. You destroy wave after wave of enemy, building the bridge, fighting Satan, going back fighting more monsters. Each wave you'll collect a flag to add to the top of the castle, and then when you go to fight Satan again, all those flags are added up for even more bonus points. One other really interesting aspect of this game that's more of an annoyance than a positive thing is gradually as you're playing, the game screen will get darker at times, and then it'll go back to lighter. It gets so dark to the point where you can't even see the oncoming enemies, which on the later stages where there's a whole swarm of enemies filling the screen, dropping bombs at all times, it makes it very difficult. A lot of the times I've lost the most lives on these dark portions of the game. To me, that's one of the biggest flaws in the game design, and I know there's some people that might be fans of this game that think otherwise, but the darkness screens are more of an annoyance than anything else. I mean, why would you want to play a game where you just can't see anything? The highest score that I ever got to was 46,220 points. Not too bad for one of my first times really playing this game, although I did play it for over an hour in one sitting. It's really a fun game. It's kind of addictive in that Galaga sense, but it has its own way and its own unique theme to it, of course. It's not a space shooter, but it does kind of feel like Galaga, Galaxian, those kind of things. But this game does have a weird, unique, like, demonic mythology, Satan, hell twist to it, which makes it unique in the arcade and unique as a theme for a shooter game. Overall, this is a really fun arcade game. I've never actually played the arcade cabinet, but it does feature the same joystick as the Tron arcade game. And from the looks of the arcade cabinet itself, it's very appealing to the eye and kind of scary and kind of intimidating as well. Included in the Midway Arcade Treasures is a few bonus features for each game. There wasn't any interviews or documentaries about this game in particular, but there was some pamphlets, some sheets about the game itself for information from back in the day when you would get those handed to you as you buy the arcade cabinet for your own arcade. And then there was a few shots of the arcade cabinet and what it looks like itself, as well as the top marquee saying the title, Satan's Hollow. Satan's Hollow is definitely a game I'll be looking forward to and looking out for at the next arcade I go to. Alright guys, that was it for my 666 subscribers special here on Happy Beard Games. I hope you enjoyed my mini review of the arcade game Satan's Hollow, and I hope you thought it was kind of fun to watch, maybe interesting to look at, and if you want to check that out yourself, this Midway Arcade Treasures collection is once again available on the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the Xbox. Midway Arcade Treasures, Satan's Hollow, lots of fun game to review, fun game to play. Thank you all for watching once again, and expect more subscriber specials in the future if I can find a lucky number.